Hey everybody, Al Puglisi Trains, and Howard Zane's in the background. How you doing back there, Howard?
Doing great.
And this is the final chapter in, I started a series called Come Along with Howard Zane and I on a Build. And part one was the inception of this incredible hotel. Because if you saw part one, you saw that I had this ugly mock up on my model railroad for the last 10 years.
I think the thing's beautiful.
And Howard says it's beautiful, and this is for sale. His piece of crap. This was a mock-up. Before I had the training, Howard taught
If
me.
you sell that fucking thing, I'll take you out for breakfast. Make I'll tuck you in bed at night.
Folks, before I learned from Howard, Howard taught me logically where to place windows, where to place doors, how to make your first floor, how high to make the second floor, how high to maybe make a third floor. I didn't have a freaking clue how to do any of this. It's almost 4 years ago.
Well, remember, I've been doing this for many, many, many years. And my son, the architect, came down and said, "Dad, that friggin' thing is all wrong." I said, well, he said, looking at my staircases. I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Dad, every county and every city and every state has a code where you can only have so many steps at a 45-degree angle, and you have to have a landing, a 3-foot landing, then more steps." And I never had that. So right now we put, anytime we do any, up to, let's say 12 to 16 steps, then we'll put a landing, then more steps. I never knew that. So we learn all the time.
Right. Well, before I came here and spent years working with Howard, I didn't have a clue. So I had to make mock-ups out of cardboard, out of cardstock, to get an idea in my head. How deep should it be? How high should it be? How wide should it be? And I had a given space that I wanted this thing to fit in. And this was supposed to be the Oakland Inn. And Howard said, that's what we do here is Howard designs his own designs, and we build Howard's designs. And Howard said, well, let me design you a station, not a station, but a grand hotel, which he did in this drawing. And that was part one. Part two, we took you on a journey on how we start scribing the wood for the windows and the walls. And then we did another chapter on doing the roofs and doing the dormers and doing the cupolas. And then we did another chapter on putting it all together. And then we did another chapter on trimming it out and doing the final trim. And this is the final chapter of the finished building.
Correction, I think you show one more what is installed on your layout.
Yes. One more when we get it on the layout. And Howard, why don't you rotate it slowly so folks can see it? This is not an inexpensive build, folks. If you want one, we'll make one very much like this for you. We never make two the exact same. Each one's a little bit different. And this one's about 27 inches long.
Well, this is not going to a customer, it's going to you.
It's going to me.
If somebody wants an exact copy, we can do that.
Right. And
But that'll be the only exact copy.
that'd be the only exact copy. So this is mine. But if you want one made for your particular space, my space had 27 inches max, and that's exactly what this is.
Now, one thing, you said to me, why do we have to put the windows in the back? Because we're not going to see it.
Right.
And then I finally got you to believe that any structure that goes out of here, any piece of art or whatever, all 4 elevations are complete.
Yes.
If you ever want to sell it.
Yes. And this is the back. And of course, we don't need a porch on the back because it's woods.
We would anyway.
Right. But this is about 27 inches long by about, I'd say, I don't know, I'm guessing 8 inches wide, 6, 7, 8 maybe.
Well, 8 with the
with the steps.
The porch.
And it's not for the faint of heart, but it's a work of art, and there's a tremendous amount of work in it. And you can go to zanestructures.com, and you can get an idea of some of the cost on these. Right. But you have to look on the website.
It says 39 on the website. HO.
Right, in HO, and
it's a one of a kind. We look at it not as a structure to compete with Walther's or Department 56. These are works of art, 3-dimensional art.
Yep.
We're proud of it, and we sell it as art.
Yep.
And sometimes I have seen work that we have done offer for sale on eBay. I don't know if it sells for the price they're asking for, but they're usually asking for a lot more than we sold it for.
All I can say, folks, is like Howard said, you're looking at about $3,900 for an HO version, and you're looking at around 50, over $5,000 for the O scale version.
O scale is 5,500.
And because it's enormous, an O scale version of this
Well,
would.
we need to have super bracing. We're going to use double the bracing.
Yep.
Keep the wood from warping.
Yep. And it would be enormous size wise. It would be.
The materials in O scale will be about $800.
Oh yeah, yeah, just in materials.
Maybe more because the windows are extremely expensive.
And if you double the size of this thing for you high rail O scale people, you're looking at a 50+ inch building by about probably a foot, 14 inches deep. But
Also, this, Al, is the largest HO structure I've built to date.
well, it's pretty big.
It's the biggest one.
But because we custom do these, your footprint is what we do. So the O scale one doesn't have to be 52 inches. It could be a smaller.
We can still make an O scale.
Yeah, it could still be. It doesn't have to be 52 inches. It can be in the 40s. We can work it down, and we can work it to whatever size you want. That's why Howard has said 1,000 times, we need a footprint. That's one of the things we need.
Footprint, approximate budget, so we're on the same page.
Right.
And then we have to know how soon do you want it.
Yep.
Which is not that important, but it could be for you.
Now, we're going to have a little contest, folks. A couple viewers said, I don't know what to name this thing. And a couple viewers wrote in and said, you need to name it in honor of Howard Zane. You need to honor it in Howard's honor. So one person said you ought to call it the Colonel Howard Hotel.
I was never a colonel.
And another fellow said we should call it the Inn Zane. I think that's great, Inn Zane. But anyway, I'm going to let Howard pick the name. So why don't you folks...
No, they'll have an award. The award will be one of my books.
Yes.
All signed and shipped.
Yes.
I won't even pay the shipping.
Okay. So, folks, if we pick one of your names, we will send you a Howard Zane book anywhere in the continental U.S. We can't ship it, break our necks to ship it to Canada or to overseas.
Only domestically.
Continental U.S. only. And that'll be the prize. So send in your suggestions of what to name this hotel, and I'll make an episode of installing it on the layout, and we'll pick the name at that time. Howard, I really appreciate it. Thanks.
You're quite welcome. So